This is me. This is Justin Severson, the host here of this podcast, No Laugh Track Podcast, here at Acme Comedy Company. Didn't do a show last week, so it's been 2 weeks. Thank you for being back for this one. If you're seeing me, listening, and I am with a first-time guest, Jade Catta-Preta is here. She has never been on this podcast. Have you been to Acme before yesterday?
No, this is my first time. Actually, this is my first time out of the mall. I've only been inside the Mall of America in Minneapolis. I've never left there. And the airport. So two beautiful places. This is my first time. I've wanted to do this club forever.
So you've seen Bloomington, not even Minneapolis.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, this is my first time. And wow, it is so beautiful from my hotel room. I see a lot of construction, and wow, you guys are thriving.
Yeah, you didn't bring your swimsuit for that. I know they have an outdoor pool over there.
I know. I saw it, and I was like, should I just for a funny video? And I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing with my life? Read a book. You know.
I don't even. I mean, Why? Why did that space where they have an outdoor pool could be used for, I don't know, 20 more rooms to rent out?
I love that they're like, let's build a pool and spend a bunch of money on it and only use it for a month and a half.
Yeah, and only use it for 6 days in the summer.
Yeah. Well, but then it's like high demand for the summer, you know?
Yeah, I suppose so. So here we are. You are in Minneapolis. We just established at Acme for the first time.
Yes.
How was your first night?
It was magical. You know, Wednesday shows can be a little rough on the soul. Because it's usually just like a little few people. But it's usually the people who really love comedy come out before the weekend.
Yes.
And that's what it was. There was this old man who looked like Santa. The whole time I kept hitting on him. It was very fun. They were just really warm and welcoming. And yeah, I feel excited. I'm psyched for there's 5 shows left. So a chance to just have more fun and get sweaty on stage.
I on my drive over here today, I drove past a place and they were advertising that you can get your picture taken with Santa on a Harley soon.
I want that. I need that. Should I stay through Christmas just for that?
The classic Harley Davidson Santa on a Harley pic.
I want to dress really slutty and go find a Santa. That's so funny. I've never even thought of doing that. I'm going to send it to you and your kids so you can have it on your fridge. Just like twerking on a Santa.
How about this? Your picture and then my story from the last year. Like it'll send it out to family.
Perfect. Yeah. What is this? Here from us from the holidays.
That's right. Greetings from the Seversons. That's right. So last night, and you are, I know a little bit about you. You are, this is the final stretch of leading into some recording?
Yeah, I'm doing my hour in Philly at the Helium. I got an opportunity to do it there. It was kind of heartbreaking because I always thought I would do it in this like major way on a network. You know, I've been waiting 13 years to do this. And I've been secretly building it kind of like I never really post online. You know, like comics are doing that now, like posting all their bits online.
Yes.
And I've always kind of kept it close to my chest because I really enjoy the live aspect of stand-up and the magic of it not being able to be recreated ever again the same way.
Yeah.
And so for a long time, that's kind of what I kind of thought I would do. You know, it would be like, if you want to see me, you have to come to the road. Like, I'm not going to put it up online.
Interesting.
But then, I don't know, it just something opened my eyes to like internationally, people can't come. It just broadens your horizons of people that can't, younger kids who can't come to the clubs. And, you know, I think I was also scared that I'd have to write new material eventually. And through this process, I've been writing a lot of new material. So I'm like, oh, wow, I can do it. And so, yeah, it's time. It's time to burn the hour.
Okay.
And see what happens.
Okay. So is there anything this week that is like the brand new stuff that you already know is not going to, you're already saving for the next one?
You know, that's so funny because I was talking to the opener last night and I wrote this joke about mice poop and how like they can't get away with anything because they leave poop everywhere.
Yes.
And I think it's brilliant.
So as I told you, I was here last night and I just like scribble down notes while I'm listening. I have a star next to mouse get caught because holy crap. Holy
tiny
shit.
poop. Yeah.
What a good joke.
Thanks.
What a great joke.
I appreciate that.
Yes.
So I just wrote that like a week ago. So I'm like, oh, do I save that? Like, I wish somebody would just tell me how to do it. You know, so much of stand-up is like getting it up on its feet, letting it eat shit, and, you know, just kind of exploring. And there's not really like a formula to it. So I think I was kind of late to discovering it all.
Interesting.
I didn't know I wanted to do stand-up. I kind of fell into it as an actor. And so I never had that mindset of like how to write. I just wanted to act out stuff and perform.
Oh, okay.
And so I kind of just jumped in, and I feel like it took me about 10 years to kind of find my rhythm and like not be too shocking and actually have like confidence. And, you know, sometimes you just run through a joke.
Oh yeah.
And like I finally land. It took me 10 years to learn how to land a joke, basically.
Some people even longer. So that's.
But yeah, so maybe I'll keep the mouse one. I don't know. It's hard. I don't know. I haven't figured it out what to put in it yet.
Interesting.
I feel like I'll decide this week. And also, we're taping here, so if I get the mice poop one really good here, I'll just go with that.
I mean, one of the things that people do now is, when you get I mean, you've seen them. You get a joke out there. It's recorded. Maybe there's video along with it. Maybe there isn't. But then you have people where they go viral on, like TikTok or whatever, where somebody's lip syncing your mouse poop joke.
I love
in a
that.
Month. Like, wouldn't that be fantastic?
Yeah, when people are like Hot Pockets, you're like, yeah. Well, Angela Johnson, I mean, she's a perfect example. She went viral when YouTube was very new with that nail bit, which would get her canceled nowadays. And I mean, she tours in theaters because of it.
Yeah.
It was like her entryway. And so I'm like, oh, maybe it'll be good to get it out there and see what happens.
Mouse poop will be your get her done.
Oh my God, get her done. It's so fun to say. He really got something there.
Yeah,
He's just in bed one night. He's like, get her done. I gotta write that down. And that's like me. I was like smoking a joint. I was like, mouse poop is so funny. Actually, I did a lot of research, and they can't help it. They have such high metabolisms
that
it just happens. Yeah.
You ever gone to a petting zoo and they have like those same can't picture what goats.
Oh yeah, goats
same
just
thing.
poop nonstop.
Like they'll be like, I mean, could you imagine walking and pooping at the same time?
Yes.
Like they do that.
Yes,
and
I
it's
can.
just falling out.
I would love that. I pooped in the ocean once. It was one of the greatest things I've ever done.
Think about how much time we would save if we could.
Oh my God! If I could just yeah, I mean, I'm spending so much time on my toilet lately.
Like I told you, I have a 2-year-old at home in diapers. I mean, we know when she's doing it because it's.
It's so funny when babies are concentrating on pushing. That's my favorite thing with my niece. She's like, she looks so serious. I'm like, are you having a meeting, sweetheart? Are you on a business call to Japan? She's like,
Was it something I said?
Yeah. God, I love baby. I'm so excited to have a baby.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I won't have one. I'll adopt one. But like just seeing them develop the smallest. Now I understand why people post baby photos all the time. Because my niece will like develop a new face or like a new reaction. And I'm like, oh, she just learned this human behavior. It's so crazy. Yeah, I'm fascinated.
Since you got so I watched my 2-year-old like look at herself in a mirror the other day.
Brilliant.
Oh,
beautiful. And she saw herself for
I'm like melting because she's
know.
like and like whispering and like putting her hand out and touching and stuff. It was like, oh my goodness. I think she knows it's her, but it's so cute.
Well, their eyes, their vision gets like sharpened up. At 2, they're like seeing full throttle.
Mm-hmm.
But like it's interesting because in the first few months they don't really see, so they can't even. And they say that the first 6 weeks are the most important developmental weeks, which is so crazy.
And that's also where parents get tricked into like, she's smiling at me, and she can't even see what's going on.
She can't even see you. Yeah,
she doesn't know how to smile. Yeah, she's not happy. It's just no clue.
Yeah, she's just living. She's alive. We did it. That's basically what it is. You're just keeping them from dying. Basically, is what being a parent is.
Yeah, that's the goal.
I was watching my niece for the first time overnight. I was like, this is such a big deal, And I took a shower. I was like watching the monitor every 2 seconds. Like I was so nervous. I got her to bed on time. I like literally had a moment where I looked in the mirror and was like, you're the best aunt. You did it. I was like, you did this. And then I like smoked a joint and I was about to go to bed. I'm in like tiny pajamas and some grasshoppers go into the house. I'm like, oh, I got to get these things out of here. Lock myself out of the house. They had just moved in, brand new house. Because they used to live in a farm and never lock the doors.
Yeah.
So it's 11:30. My sister and her husband are at a wedding far away. I don't have my phone. I don't have anything. So I'm just running up and down the neighborhood. Finally, Larry and Terry, the neighbors, really sweet couple.
Of course they're Larry and Terry.
Yeah, Larry and Terry. She's an herbalist. I went inside her house. I'm dripping sweat and nothing. And I'm like, are you an herbalist? I was so excited. Drove me to my parents. Anyway, like we get inside. It's fine. The baby was like, I'm about to break the window, freaking out,
Oh, no.
I thought I killed my niece. I could already imagine like holidays where they were like, but we can't talk about that one night.
You show up and you have the tables just for you.
Yeah. You can sit on the baby killer table by yourself. But yeah, I can't imagine the amount of like worry that I would have at all. Like I have a dog and I'm constantly like, is she okay? This is
yeah, right.
Yeah. So I think it would either slow me down or make me like even more.
So
nuts.
you're a week on the road right now.
Yeah.
Who's watching the dog?
She's with my hot boyfriend at home.
Your hot boyfriend. Oh.
Yeah.
And he knows what he's doing?
He knows what he's doing. We've been
Okay.
together for a couple of years. That's the
Okay.
papa, you know?
That's good.
Yeah.
That's
It's
good.
so cute because he's like big muscular guy and she's just this tiny chihuahua. And he's like, he loves her so much. It's so cute.
Is it one of those chihuahuas that has an attitude and like
She has
is
moments.
all tough, like tries to act like she's a giant dog?
She has moments. Like she doesn't like black shoes.
Oh boy, I thought
I
you
shouldn't
were
say a
gonna
pause.
go-
I know. She doesn't like black shoes. It sounds like I'm saying black Jews. She doesn't like black Jews.
So specific.
So specific. No, whoever hurt her was like a short Mexican with black shoes because she has moments. Like,
Strange.
yeah. Like, and she was like, owner returned. She bit a kid. So she was about to go. So we saved her. She used to be with another comic too, and I stole her from him.
Oh.
I mean, he was like, "You're taking Cheryl." I was like, "Yeah." We snuggled naked one night, and I was like, "That's my dog." But I
Try doing that at Humane Society sometime.
right. I just show up, and I'm like, "Which dog is ready?" She attacks. So oftentimes I'll have her in the green room, and then when I'm not in there, I'm like, I tell the wait staff, I'm like, "Don't go in the green room without me being there," and I'll hear
Okay,
from
sure.
stage Cheryl being like, like attacking. But she's really calm. Otherwise,
You gotta be
sister.
careful. There might be, another comedian with their dog backstage.
There's only like 3 comics that bring their dogs, and it's Taylor and Dean Del Rey, and all our dogs get along.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
I love that.
Eliza used to bring her dog
That's
too.
what I was thinking
yeah,
of.
Blair. Oh, I miss Blair.
That's what I was thinking.
What a
of.
cute dog.
It's so funny. So I want to bring up that there's a podcast that I'm a fan of.
Yeah.
It's called Doug Loves Movies.
Oh, I love that podcast.
Yes, and I'm going to listen to the most recent episode.
Yeah.
And one of the first things, of course, you were one of the you were on the show.
Yes,
that
yes.
was just posted that I listened to, and then another person was Ryan Stout.
Love Ryan
who I
Stout.
hadn't seen in years.
Same, like 10 years I haven't
And was
seen
just
him.
here
Yeah.
2 weekends ago for Acme's 30th. And there was Acme talk, and Doug has been a long time performer here, and that I haven't seen for a while. It was just like,
Yeah.
oh, this
I know,
is
it's
so
such a
great.
familial.
You guys talking about Acme, and then someone did pretty well. And then at the end of the show, got to do her plugs of what's coming up and
Yeah.
mentioned Acme again. And it was just like, this is
It was so
cool.
exciting. I am not gonna lie, I totally forgot I said yes to doing it, and it was like 5:02, and Doug was like, "You doing this?" And I was like, "Oh fuck!" Couldn't find my computer charger. I was like freaking out, putting lipstick on, and they were like, "It's audio only." I was like, "Oh good."
So you were lucky you were even home.
Yeah, like it all worked out. I love doing the show, by
Yeah.
the way. I am horrible with movie references, but then it makes me feel like somehow it always works out. Like Made in Manhattan is one out of like 5 movies I know, by the way.
Yeah.
And it just happened to be the one
Wasn't that
he
amazing?
picked. It was crazy. I love the games. It's just like such a fun. Doug is the best. He's
You're
been
like
really good.
the amateur poker player that enters the game with the the guys are like play constantly.
Dumb luck.
Yeah, and then kills it like.
Dumb luck. Yeah.
Oh, boy, beginner luck, I guess.
If he says any J-Lo movie, I'm gonna know it, and he knows that.
Oh my goodness.
That's all I know. I know just quality. That's what I like.
Right.
Yeah,
I think they're gonna name an award after her acting.
Oh my God! If he talks about The Boy Next Door, I know almost word for word. By the way, that was her passion project. She said.
Is that right?
Yeah, one of my favorite lines is she goes, "Stop following me," and he goes, "I can't. I live next door." And then he gives her a copy of the original Odyssey, and she's like, "I can't." And I'm like, "Did you steal this from a museum?" I'm like, "Is this in like copyback? Is it not like in a scroll? Like what do they call the little like? What do they call it when it's original books? They're like in a little."
Oh,
No,
the
not-
bound.
Like no, but it's like in a scroll. That's
Scroll,
what it's called.
yes,
It's a
yes,
scroll.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, did you get her a scroll? But yeah, it's one of the craziest movies I've ever seen.
Well, my 15-year-old daughter
Yeah.
was telling me that she recently they played what's the Tejano singer Selena?
My favorite movie of all time.
Selena.
You
They
nailed
played
it.
Selena in
Yeah.
school.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I was alive and around when like that happened, and her death is how I heard of Selena.
Anything for Selena. When the actress who played the woman died, I was like, she shouldn't have killed Selena. Like that's how I was like that woman was that character for me.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I love that movie so much.
That's like when I saw Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan, I think it is.
Oh my God,
and,
they're like the same movie.
and you're right. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people get those confused. And
Yeah.
and Spock, played by Jennifer Lopez, dies at the end. I thought we left. I still remember leaving the theater and asking my mom if that was real. Like if he was
Really?
really
Like, did he die?
Did he really die?
You really connected.
Yes. What a foolish, naive little boy I was.
No, you know what though? But I miss that feeling of like not knowing too much. Like when I watch commercials with my sister and I'm like, oh, I know her. And she's like, oh, she's not the mother of that guy. What do you mean they're not mother and son? You know, like,
yes.
And I'm like, no, she's thrown up at my house when she was drunk. Like, that's my friend, you know? So I miss like not knowing, not seeing behind the.
Sure. You've done commercials as well, right?
So many commercials.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a Progressive one running right now. That's sweet.
I watched it on YouTube.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
It's the one. It's I have got my short-term memory.
We're like in a
You're
focus group.
Focus group table.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
I'm the
that's a great
mom
one.
character.
Yes.
Yeah. The director's incredible. Is this guy named Brendan Gibbons. He's done all Progressive commercials for 11 years. And he's just like one of those actor directors. Like he'll just let us all go. You know, like we each get a turn.
Did you show up and like, Flo, I'm after your job?
Oh my God, I wish. And she is the nicest, sweetest, like most welcoming. She's an improv teacher. So she's just like, yes, and you know, she's just so lovely. Like, yeah, the whole cast is all improvisers too. What a dream.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So that one's playing right now.
Yeah.
What are some other ones?
Oh man, I've done it all. McDonald's was my very first commercial. And it's so funny because I remember moving out to LA and being like, I'll never do anything for McDonald's. And I'm like living in my car and I book a McDonald's commercial. I'm like, let's go. I love McDonald's.
Pay me in fries. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care. I'll eat it. McDonald's, I've done like over 40 some commercials. So
wow.
Not AT&T, but I've done T-Mobile, Budweiser. T-Mobile, did I? I did GE, a GE one that was like me just putting a pizza in a fridge, and that's the one I made the most money from. You see my face for like 3 seconds, which is all you need, by the way, to be recognized for 3 seconds. That's like the rule.
Is that right?
Yeah, so if you book a commercial, right, and you're like in it for just 2 seconds, you won't get paid.
Interesting.
Like you have to be in it recognizable for 3 seconds. That's the rule. And you don't make money like you used to. But yeah, I've done so many random. I did one for weight loss supplement called Who Do You Sure? I was like, who do you know who could lose some weight? Maybe even you. That was the line. A lot of weird.
Awkward.
Yeah, I've been cut out of a bunch too. Like you shoot it and you're like, this is it, and then you get cut out of it. Like,
Getting cut out of like a 30-second ad?
Yeah, I cut out of like a Bud Light cruise one where I had to wear a Bud Light box as an outfit.
Oh.
First they were like, you're going to be in a shark costume. I was like, well, then I won't be. What? And they're like, bikini. I was like, never mind. I'll take the shark costume. I don't care. And then they were like, no, you're going to be in a box. So I couldn't sit the whole day. Like I was in a physical. I'll send it to you so you can post it.
That sounds awful.
So I couldn't sit. So the whole day I was like this, you know, just fucking, this is great. I'm going to make so much money. And then I get cut out of the fucking thing.
I have to go potty.
Yeah.
Someone get me out of here.
Yeah, I was just pooping.
Just
everywhere I went. Yeah, just tiny little pellets.
Oh, I love it. You said you were going to record Sunday in
Philadelphia at the Helium.
Okay, why there?
So they reached out to 12 different comics and they're just doing a bunch of specials. They're producing them themselves.
Oh.
Like 4 cameras. John Doerr just did one. I'm sharing the night. Yeah, he's awesome.
We love John Doerr.
I love John Doerr. I'm sharing the night with this guy named Ocean, who's really good. He opens for Dion Cole, who's amazing.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just like, I'm nervous because it's like the one night, you know, it's like, you could have a bad show. I mean, you never have a super bad show after you've been doing it for a while, but like, you know, like, fuck.
Well, I mean, you know, I've hosting this, I talked to a lot of people over the years that are recording here, other places, and a lot of times it's, you know, Thursday's show, 2 Friday, 2 Saturday, and we'll kind of like pick maybe this from here and this from here and this from here, and you are not doing that.
No. Well, I'm hoping that the footage from here I'll use more than I'll use the other one. But I don't know. Yeah, there's so many variables that can make it not feel good. As long as it feels good, that's all I'm worried about. You know what I mean? Like I just want it to feel loose. Like, and we do it. So I open for him and then he opens for me. So I get
2 shows
a 30-minute chance and then an hour.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh,
Yeah.
that'll be great. So another thing I know about you, and you mentioned it on stage, you grew up in Brazil?
I grew up in São Paulo, Brazil.
São Paulo.
São Paulo, Brazil.
When did you leave?
I moved to Charlottesville, Virginia when I was 11, at the ripe age of 11. Yeah, and I didn't speak English. I was like immigrant kid, like
Is that right?
ESL, yeah. And it was a weird transition.
Yeah.
People didn't really know what Brazil was.
No.
Now, people would be like, what's it like wearing shoes? I'm like, it's cool. I miss the vines, but this will do.
I had to leave my monkey back home.
Yeah, I'm sad. I miss my monkey, but yeah, it was just such a weird transition.
And speaking Spanish, Portuguese,
yes.
motherfucker.
Oh yes, that was a thing for sure.
Yeah.
But I also just really wanted to fit in. Like I just wanted to be American. Like
Mhm.
I remember I went back to Brazil and they had this beautiful Brazilian breakfast of fruit, and cheese and all this, and we're like, no, we want bacon and eggs. And I remember the chef lady was like, okay, like. Guess I'll make that for you guys.
America ruined you.
Yeah, it really did. And now all I want to do is not be American, because I want to stand out. It's like you go back to your roots eventually when you feel lost enough.
Sure. Do you go back?
Yeah, I started doing stand-up in Portuguese a few years back because it's huge there. Like, I mean, the stand-ups are crushing. Like, after 2 years, they're doing their hour.
Wow.
And it's millions of people watching because there's not a lot of TV. A lot of stuff is online.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, there's just a huge, want for stand-up there. And, most of the acts that I watch, sorry, guys, in Brazil, the kind of jokes that I've heard, they're in a different place. They're just starting out.
Yeah.
But there's some really, visionaries and really incredible comics coming out of Brazil. And I shot a documentary that I've been trying to sell for 3 years about me going back and doing stand-up in Portuguese.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. So hopefully
that sounds really interesting.
somebody will buy it. No, I'm psyched. And then there was a comic there who's like the Chappelle of Brazil. His name is Rafinha Bastos. He'll be here. He's amazing. And
he's got controversial views on LGBT, you're saying?
No, why did you say that? Why?
Because Chappelle just got in trouble.
Oh, no, not in that way. Wow, I'm slow. Yeah. Does not like transgender people. Yeah, he's like just the biggest comic there.
Right.
That's funny. Completely over my tiny head. But he helped me a lot when I was there, and I just happened to meet him. Like it was all luck, everything I was doing online, and then I brought him to the States.
Oh, that's the way to do it.
Kind of shared all my resources.
Right.
And, he got passed at the Cellar. He did Rogan. He's so he made a nice little dent.
Wow, what is his name? Now I gotta write this down.
His name is Rafi. Rafi Bastos, Bastos. He's got millions of followers on every platform, and
okay.
he's just the sweetest.
Maybe I already follow him.
It's so funny because in Portuguese he's like this very suave, charismatic, like "Oi, eu sou Rafinha Bastos," and then in English he just sounds like Borat. He's like, that's his whole thing. But he's so funny and he loves stand up. You know, like the guys in Brazil love stand up, in a different way than here because it's gotten to the place where it's like you can do one joke and be huge online. Like he really likes the grind of it and trying new stuff and yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Experience.
That's really cool.
Made me fall in love with stand up again for sure.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So there's so many comedians have podcasts. Where's your podcast?
Oh God, I had one that I did for 23 episodes called Jaded, and I started at the Comedy Store, and then it kind of just faded. It was so much work. I like this part of it, but then editing, that part got a little overwhelming. And I have interns, but
no more.
I just asked them to compliment me. That's what their full job is. You'll have to come up with 10 compliments about me today. Turn it in by noon.
No repeats.
Yeah. They have to be original every time. Find adjectives that make me feel good.
So when you moved to Virginia, you said?
Yeah, Charlottesville, Virginia, where all the riots happened.
Fun.
Yeah.
And so you finished school there, and then at what
Yeah.
point you said you had a musical?
Yeah, so I left high school a little early. I was homeschooled my last year because I was already ready to be in New York shimmying, with all the gay people. I was like, let's go. I did a lot of summer programs.
Okay.
And my life dream was to go to NYU. I even got arrested when I was in middle school once for trespassing, and I was bawling to the cop, being like, "Can I still go to NYU?"
Oh.
And the guy was like, "What's that?" Yeah.
Your permanent record, young lady.
He's like, "I just got to call your dad." But then I went to Emerson, which is a school a lot of comics went to. Eliza, Bill Burr.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, David Cross, and I did not want to do stand up then.
Okay.
I just thought it was so embarrassing and hard and weird.
Sure.
And I remember watching. I would go watch comics and just be like, "Why would they do this to themselves?
Yeah.
I'd rather kill a baby." And then I don't know. I kind of fell into it from improv to moving to LA and then getting a job, a host job at National Lampoon. And then this guy named Sandy Danto brought me over to the Comedy Store, and then I blame him for all for all those years.
What is hosting National Lampoon? What does that mean?
So they used to have like a really big presence on YouTube before they got raided. I don't know if you remember, they got raided in like the mid 2000s for money laundering. I want to say they like literally like raided the offices, took all the computers, and I was like, no, not my hosting on YouTube footage.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so that was like a big thing that happened. But yeah, they had this YouTube channel, and I used to host the show that was like a Tosh.0 clip show, basically, which is I think what I was destined to do. And then yeah, and I remember Sandy was like, come watch my friend Adam Ray, who you know, obviously.
Yeah.
And I remember I went to the Comedy Store, and it was like a bringer show. And I watched Adam Ray, and then all of a sudden, like, Chris Rock showed up. It was like one of those random nights where he popped in, and there's like these doors in the kitchen that like flap back and forth. And I remember like pushing through it, and I had the weirdest feeling of like I had already been there, like familiarity, like this weird deja vu, but kind of this like sense of, I don't know, like belonging. And I'm always, because of the immigrant thing, looking to feel like I belong to something.
Yeah. And
I just felt like, wow, this is my place. And I was really confident then because I hadn't done stand-up and my soul hadn't been sucked out. And I remember like just walking up to the manager, like flipping the chair around, very gay, like just being like, I want to work here. And he was like, women don't work here. And then the next day or so, not
put that chair away.
Yeah, the bartender got fired for being drunk or something, and I started bartending there.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. And that's
There's always a way.
Yeah. Those 4.5 years I bartended out front. So
Oh,
a lot of
wow.
good stories, a lot of bad stories.
I bet.
But I'm very proud of it because I feel like it made a very hard shell, you know.
What is the drink that people come up and order? You're just like, oh God, no.
Well, I used to do like the urban night, and it was a lot of like blue. What's that blue drink that's like everything in it? I forget.
Oh,
I'm a great
Brandon?
bartender. Brandon, what's that drink that's like blue? It's like a Sex on the Beach style drink with everything in it. But yeah, those drinks that are really just like tropical. But you know what I would do? Sorry, Comedy Store. I've already told this story once. But like we get a lot of free booze that was like, you know, strawberry vodka or like random bottles that they're trying to sell. So I would just use those and then give them out for free and then make full tip money on it. Well, it was like dead when I worked there. Those were the dark days before Adam took over. And it was like Tommy.
Like in the documentary.
Yes, that none of us are in. Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, no,
I'm
it's
sorry.
okay.
I'm sorry.
Mike, I see you. I see you. They needed names. You know, you got to stunt cast that shit. But yeah, it was dark. It was like, I never saw him there then, by the way. Never came in when it was dark. It would be like literally 5 people in the whole place.
Yeah.
Like, you know, all 3 stages. And I mean, that's how we ran it. It was kind of like the wild, wild west. And I'm so grateful to have been there then, because also, you know, you have your class of people that you kind of start with, and everyone's doing so well. They've all kind of found their niche, you know, their place. And yeah, I'm really proud to be from there.
Awesome. So you still live in California, yes?
I still live in LA, but I was in New York for 7 years back doing the bicoastal thing.
Oh,
like
okay.
a fancy bitch.
Yeah.
And then got rid of my place right before COVID.
Okay.
Thank God. Yeah.
I know you mentioned on stage last night you were hosting The Soup for a little while.
Yes, I was. It was exciting.
On E.
On E.
Yes.
It was exciting. I'd never seen my crotch so large on a billboard. Oh my God, what a moment. I was like, had to wear those pants? So tight.
I have a work ID that I had at a job the other day, and some guy we have to do like this clock in like on a machine, and then your picture pops up.
Yeah.
And it's on my ID that I try to hide because the picture was taken 6 years ago, and I needed a haircut. Was wearing a hat that I had to take off. Had no idea we were gonna get our haircut or our pictures taken that day,
of
and I have to
course.
live with this thing forever.
Forever. That's like my clear picture. I'm like, I was like from 5 a.m. I was like, just get me through. I don't care. How much is it? I don't care.
Do this face, or it's not you.
Yeah, it sucks. No, people that have good ID photos, you're like, you're trying too hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm
Uh-huh.
like, let's be messed up like the rest of us.
You never even look like that.
Yeah, I'm like, you look better in your ID photo than in person.
This is ridiculous. This was right before what, prom? You took this picture?
Yeah, do you think that the people that work those ID photos are like secretly always trying to get a bad photo?
1,000%.
You know what I mean? It's like ticket people that want to give you a ticket.
Yes, they're like,
You know what I mean? They're just waiting.
okay, look right here, and then the second before.
They wait for you to blink, and they're like, blink.
Yes.
I got a blinker today. Oh, Jody, incredible.
Yeah, well, you can't beat the record of 10 in a day.
Yeah, I got a lazy eye. What about you?
Exactly. Let's see. So you some musical background. You did some
Yes.
singing. You do some singing on stage.
I want to be a singer so bad,
You
dude.
do?
Yeah. Justin, do you know any record labels that are looking for jokes about poops being sang? There's a freedom that I feel on stage when you do jokes, right? And it's kind of sing-songy. It's rhythmic, right?
Mhm.
You feel,
Oh yeah, there's definitely.
you know, when you're off and you can just take a breath and then kind of jump back on.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hard thing to explain to people, I think, unless you do it. But with music, there's this freedom. I'm not in my head at all. I'm so in the moment, and it feels so good for me. Even if it sounds bad, it's so weird. I just like the act of it.
Yeah. Would you ever like record stuff that have nothing to do with comedy?
Yes. Oh my God, that's the dream. I
It
just
is.
so I just recorded this hour in LA at Jam in the Van with a full band, and I did 10 tracks. So it was really more about getting the tracks recorded with a band.
Yeah.
But I did the hour just to feel like what it would feel flowing back and forth, and it was magical. It was
You said
really
with a live band?
Yeah, with a live band.
Wow.
The guy who composed it is this incredible guy named Dan Gross, and he did all the stuff for like Drunk History and Michelle Obama show that she just did, and he wrote all the music, so it's all original music. And yeah, I did it with a full band, trombone player, this really cool dude from this big cover Sublime cover band, which I'm into, and it was just magical, like feeling the band behind me, the rhythm of it, and that's my dream, that I have a traveling comedy show that's like that with the band.
Okay.
And then maybe, on Broadway. That's the magical dream that I barely say out loud. But yeah, I would love to have like a variety show, Carol Burnett style comedy. With
Okay.
music, dancing,
Love
costume
it.
changes.
Yeah, I love it. So the other day I went on everybody's favorite social media site, Facebook.
Oh, wow.
And a friend of mine posted a video. He was at, remember the band Genesis?
Of course.
Phil Collins. They're touring again. Did you know that?
Yes.
I didn't. That's
Yeah.
how I found out. It was 2 mornings ago, and then I
Yeah.
saw a video that a friend of mine posted. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to go to YouTube and see if there's any videos from the show. So I find one, and it's like crystal clear. I'm like, hell yeah. And it's right at the beginning, and then, like Phil's introducing the band. Oh, my God, some new guys here. Da, da, da. And then they start playing, what is it? Misunderstanding. Great song. But as soon as he freaking hits the lyrics, the guy who's doing the filming, it must have been
Sing.
misunderstanding.
Dude, that's why. Remember how? Okay, because I was like, I'm so excited to go back to seeing concerts. And then you go to a concert and you remember, you're like, oh, fuck, I don't want to see this band through somebody's shitty iPhone footage.
Yes.
Like you're watching this person record it, not even sharp, hit the screen.
Mm-hmm.
I went to a Sublime concert in Paso Robles thinking like, hell yeah, Sublime. And yeah, same thing. I was there was a guy dancing in front of me the whole time. It was making me so mad. I couldn't relax.
Not only was this guy like, off key, but then when it got to the lyrics that weren't, it must be some, like the regular lyrics, he was brutalized, like getting every third word wrong, like I probably would too.
That's like my mom. Yeah.
Yeah.
She just makes up words. And she's like, this is the song.
I was telling my wife about this. She goes, yeah, you do that.
You do. I do that too, kind of. But I wouldn't post it.
No! This
know
is
what
in
I
the
mean?
car with just the two of us when I'm doing it.
It's interesting that you say that you looked up a video, because I would have never, you know what I mean? I would never be like, oh, I want to see that concert and look up. That's a great idea. Because yeah, I'm like, I want to feel the live experience. But then I went to Grateful Dead like last week. 3,000 plus people at the bowl.
Yeah.
It's too much for me.
Dead and Company, brah.
Yeah, like the mushrooms were kicking in. I was like, I gotta go. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Get more mushrooms.
Yeah, I was like, I gotta be rolling in my bed, watching this on my cell phone. It was just like, I thought I missed being around people, and I don't. I think I hate concerts. And then we went the Sublime one. It was who sings that song? Hey, I'm on vacation every single day because I love my occupation. It's like the Big Heads or something Heads.
Sure.
Whatever. Some band that's like 3 rappers and then like a full band. And they're really good. But they're playing and I'm like, okay, cool. Is this? And then they're playing for like an hour and a half. And I'm like, did we buy tickets to the wrong concert?
Oh, no.
Is this not Sublime? And we're, tripping. And then the concert ends and we're like, oh my God, we came to the wrong. We didn't know. Like, And then they reset and Sublime starts like an hour later.
Oh, weird.
By the time they started, it was like, 11 or something. We got there at 7. By this time, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, I heard 2 songs and I was like, I got this. Like, Bradley's dead. What are we doing?
I was going to say, isn't the main guy not there?
Yeah. But the new guy's been like the lead singer since Bradley died.
Okay.
Like in the, when did he die? Like early 2000s? I remember because I cried hysterically.
My 13-year-old showed up at my house one day this summer with a Sublime T-shirt because they sell them at Target now.
Yeah, it's like an urban thing now. Yeah, Pink Floyd too.
Yeah, and I was like, "What's your favorite Sublime song?"
Not even one.
Is that a band? Like, I don't even.
Stop.
She had no. She'd never heard them.
I like love them so much.
She liked the logo.
Yeah, that's a lot with Grateful Dead too. Like people love the little bears. I'm like, you don't know a single song? Isn't that weird? It's like advertising something you don't know on a T-shirt. You don't do any research.
Yeah. You got your chest or you got the armband of teddy bears, like
you're
doing the merry-go-round.
Also,
what's
that? That's a sports thing, right?
This?
Yeah. Or do you just love fucking blonde Viking hot dudes?
This is my portrait that they claim is my great-great-grandfather.
Oh my God! Wow, you guys look alike.
Thank you. No, it's the Vikings, Minnesota Vikings football
team
logo. Yep.
I was gonna be like hockey football.
Yeah. You're in town in Minneapolis right now. It's the biggest rivalry of the year is going to be happening Sunday. Vikings, Packers.
Really?
Wisconsin,
Packers is the green one
versus Minnesota. Yeah.
That's like a thing, huh?
That's a huge thing here.
Oh my God, I totally get it because the Real Housewives Vacation series just came out, so it's like the same thing.
Exactly the same thing.
It's very cringe. But it's interesting when people get so emotionally involved.
I was trying to make a analogy to my daughters yesterday, and I used Double Shot at Love with Vinny and Pauly D and something that happened on that show as my analogy.
And they were like, we understand.
Mm-hmm. Not because they watch it, because I watch it.
I love reality TV. I can't help it.
I know you do, yes.
I really like it. You know what I like? People think it's so lowbrow, but I think there is something so incredible about like voyeurism of it, like the voyeuristic nature of it and what people do when they know they're being watched. Can you imagine how shitty they are when they're not being filmed?
Yes, I think that all the time.
And I talk about it, but my guy was on a reality show.
That's crazy.
It was like a YOLO moment. He's not like trying to be a reality person, thank God. But
it is Pauly D. That's who
I'm dating.
Right?
Yeah. My sheets are orange. Everything's orange.
I knew it.
But yeah, it's a bizarre thing, and it's bizarre what they do to the people too, because you don't know. But they isolate them for weeks at a time before they're on the show, with no cell phones. They're like usually alone in a hotel room.
Yeah.
Even before COVID. Now it's even more because of the quarantine.
Sure.
But they isolate them to the point where they kind of lose themselves. They're not talking to anybody really.
Yeah.
And then they're put with a group of people and given alcohol, so they bond right away. It's this weird thing that they do.
You mean they manipulate things to get their results?
Yeah, I have a producer friend, and she worked on The Bachelor, and I was at her house during quarantine. We were like in the same bubble, and so she was casting from her bedroom.
Oh, how fun!
And it was so bizarre. I would just walk by, and she'd be like, "So how far would you go for love? Would you punch a girl? Would you punch a guy? Like, what are you doing? This is your job?
Would you kill?
Yeah, would you kill for love?" It's such a bizarre,
would be so much fun.
But I think it's like us. We talked about that tip thing. Like, I couldn't do it. Like, I've done so many prank shows, and I can't do it. Once I see their eyes and they're like freaking out, I'm like, I can't.
It's
for
a
what?
person.
For a laugh? Yeah. I'm too empathetic. I can't.
That's okay. I think
and that's why I don't
okay.
like sports, because I'm like, that team lost. Like, somebody always loses. I can't handle it.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I don't like it.
Yeah. My wife could not care less about sports, and then one of my daughters started playing volleyball this year. It was like, come on, Anna. I'm like, whoa, where did this come from?
You have to have some kind of tie to it to like feel some feelings.
Cow.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Volleyball, dude, that's hot. That's a hot sport. Not to call your daughter hot because she's underage, but
yeah, I've said this before on the podcast. Our comedian Chad Daniels has a joke about when his daughter played high school volleyball, and he says you basically go, and I'm looking over here, you find a brick on the wall, and that's your brick you look at the whole time.
The whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Go brick. I mean, Jesse, go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's got to be a trippy experience. I have a friend who her kid, I met him when he was like 4, and now he's 16, and he's like hot. And he used to be like an awkward kid, and he would never like want to hug me or anything. And now he's like, "Can I have a good night hug?" I'm like, "Okay, wow." It's bizarre.
That's like when somebody posts like that mom would post a picture of that son on Facebook, and then the other boy, somebody stop him from growing. What that really means is, dang, he turned into hotness.
He got hot. Yeah. But it's like such a bizarre thing for me to say, because I'm kind of saying like your husband's hot, because he looks just like the dad. Like I remember one New Year's, I was dating this guy, and my friend, who I already felt uncomfortable around my boyfriend, hooked up with her brother, or with his brother, right? And we were like drunk in the bathroom. She goes, "Oh my God, doesn't he look so much like, the guy I'm dating?" I'm like, "Wait, what? Do you just want to fuck my boyfriend?" Like, it's just a bizarre thing. I guess we all just want to fuck everybody, right? Isn't that what this life is about?
According to the number of people that watch porn every day, yes, correct.
Are you a porn watcher?
Who's listening? No.
Yeah. No?
I have a healthy relationship with my...
I feel like it's healthy to watch. You don't think it's healthy?
Yes. With
I'm probing because I can tell you don't want to talk about it.
Hey, we hit the time. We got to get going here, right?
On the next episode, I'll get into it. You got to watch to find out.
I know it exists. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, same.
I know it exists.
I know it.
If I needed to find it, I could.
I go incognito window. Do you go regular window? I watch it on my cell phone. Okay. I went to an audition at Disney. It was a voiceover audition, and I went to check in, and the security guard was watching porn on his phone. And it was like really crazy porn, but I could see it so much that I could see the guy was wearing a condom in the porn. Like that's how close I was to him. And I'm just watching him watch the porn, and then I go, hey, can I check in? And he kind of got embarrassed. And I go, I watch it on my cell phone too. That's how I do it.
No.
Yeah, and the guy just did not want to bond over the porn. And he just put it down and let me in. And I was just so disappointed,
I don't care if you saw and we're on the same. No, I didn't. You didn't see anything.
At Disney?
Yeah, right. What if one of them was in like a mouse ears?
Yeah, he's just into like weird Disney anime porn. I'm like, ew. Because you see that stuff now. You see like a Marge Simpson with huge tits. You're like, I guess this is what I'm doing now. Let's go.
She should have been like this the whole time.
Just da, da, da,
so,
da, da.
You just reminded me of something, a story I'm going to share. Probably because it doesn't involve me watching porn. So I used to work in morning radio. One of my coworkers, I'm not going to say his name. People want to DM me. I'll tell you who it is.
Okay.
All right. He would. We worked together on the morning show. He would watch porn a lot while we were broadcasting.
Interesting.
And
problematic.
not be shy about it. Like, it wasn't discussed, but you could see over his shoulder that he's watching porn. Not just that, but watching it like while we're doing like serious news stories.
Why? That's problematic.
Yeah.
Like, he's got a problem.
It was like this. How do you disconnect
But why does he need
your
it?
brain to do that is crazy.
But also, like, people that watch that much porn, I think, are unfazed and, like, what's the word? It's like they become, like, unconnected, numbed out, you know, like, to reality. So much about sex is, like, smell and breathing and touching. And, like, when it's all in your mind, like, you can't be present.
Yeah.
I like watching weird stuff. That's what I like. I'm like, how weird is this going to get? Let's see.
Okay, well, did you watch the video of the woman that peed on the stage over the weekend?
I fucking love that. How did you feel? I mean, I hated it. How did you feel? Gross. Ew. How did you feel? Were you offended?
Not offended. No.
Yeah.
I was at a hip hop show once where
You said hip hop so white.
Yeah.
Hip hop.
You know why? It's because I was about to say something else, and I double pumped there. Hip hop, yo. I went to a show once, and a guy threw up on someone they pulled up from the audience.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
Like, how can you just throw up on command?
Well, I don't know. I mean, he was sticking his fingers down his.
That's gross. Because I don't know why that's grosser than pee.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not into like pee play. Look, I would talk about it because I think it's hilarious. But there was just something so. What's the word? It was just so I don't know, it was cool. Like I just watching her do it, like just like the physicality of it, and that she was still singing, and the guy was into it. He was like, oh, I was also like, wow, that's a lot of pee. Like very hydrated.
Yeah. I you know what? I wasn't like when he stood up and shook it off his face.
Yeah.
That's when I was like,
yeah, but I didn't even go
I'm
that
horrified.
far. I stopped at the stream. I didn't even. But you got a longer version. I got to find that.
I paid for it.
You got the extended
no, I had to
pee
pay,
version.
I had
yeah.
to pay for that.
But then she had to like apologize. Right, it was like a big thing
I saw
where
that
she
today.
had
She
to
was-
apologize.
Apologized, yes.
But also, like, why? Aren't live concerts supposed to get weird? Like, imagine all this crazy shit that happened in the 80s. Rock band. Wasn't there a thing where, like, somebody stuck a fish? Like, some famous rock
Whatever
musician
you're saying, I'm sure
stuck
it
a
happened.
fish inside some lady.
I'm sure it happened, yeah.
You know, I mean, hotel rooms were destroyed. Like,
Oh, yeah.
And I get it. There was a lot more cocaine back then, but, like,
And less people recording things and posting it online.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
Can't get away with anything.
Yeah, it's weird because, like, you know, the headline was, you know, that she's going to urinate on somebody, and then I know it's coming, but still, when all of a sudden, you know, she's
It was shocking.
cranking those shorts down and just hovering over him, like, no.
Also,
Whoa!
it's
Oh, my
hard
God!
yeah, it's hard to hold that position that long. I was
Imagine
impressed.
so.
I was like, wow, that's a lot of thigh
Yes.
control. I could never just pee on someone like that. I mean, I want to be able to. I think that's so cool. Like, my guy's not into it, by the way. He would not let me pee on him. But, like, yeah, I just was so... Can you get sick from drinking pee? I guess that's the first thing I thought. I was like, he's going to get sick.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to know. But
He's more hydrated than ever.
yeah, right.
He's like, I'm onto something.
I was just thirsty.
I think that's what it is. Like we're so shocked by things now. We just want to be shocked. I think people just want to have because I think we're frustrated and there's a lot of trauma from everything that happened with COVID, and we want to blame someone obviously. And Trump's not president anymore, even though 41% is the rating that Biden got the other day, which that's horrible. It's like the lowest rating for a president in years.
Yeah.
But I feel like people are just angry, and when they see other people like living their true lives, they get upset because I feel like they feel repressed.
Oh, there's definitely something to
You
that.
know?
Oh, yes.
There's so many like repressed gay people and repressed people in marriages that are unhappy, and I think they see some cool chick peeing on some dude and they go, what? And I'm just having missionary sex in the dark?
If I'm lucky?
Through a hole in a sheet?
If I'm lucky?
Yeah. Right?
On my birthday?
Yeah, once a year.
Right.
So I think people are they take out their own personal frustrations on people that are living freely.
Oh, there's definitely something to that.
You
There's
know?
definitely something to that. We should put a bow on this thing.
Let's do it.
And tell people to come see your shows. Why? I know I heard you say on Douglas Movies you don't normally doing 6 shows in a row.
I've never done
somewhere.
6 shows. It's the first 6 show run I've ever had.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I'm excited. I hope I have a voice by the end. I talk a lot.
Yeah. So I encourage people to come. So, you know, I don't know if you know, but yeah, we'll put this out as soon as possible.
Oh, awesome.
So hopefully this will get a few more people in the
please
seats here. And I mean,
come.
what you're coming to see is a lot of times what we're lucky enough to get here at Acme is people putting the polish on that act before it gets recorded. So
It's so exciting.
you're going to
and,
hear the best stuff.
Yeah, and if you guys are in Philly too, come out to Philly. Tell all your Philly friends. Bring the arugula. And it's the only word I know how to say in a Philly accent. And then I have a show coming out next year called Hotties on Hulu.
Oh.
Yeah.
What is this? Real quick.
So
what is
it's
this?
super highbrow. It's a hybrid dating cooking show. And 2 people go on blind dates, 2 separate blind dates in food trucks. And they have to compete to see who cooks the best meal. But throughout it, we're feeding them super hot stuff like that they have to eat in order to like keep cooking. And I'm just watching it from a van, making fun of them. And then I judge it at the end. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, whoever has the best date, best dish, or both wins. And so I just judge on, I just judge who's hotter, really. Yeah, it's a really fun, weird, hybrid dating show.
Cool. And where will people see it?
It's going to be on Hulu,
On Hulu.
and possibly on the Food Network as well, which is one of my dreams. It's on my manifestation list.
Oh, very cool.
So yeah, I love food. I'm a foodie person.
Okay.
So I would love to be on there judging people vomiting and then kissing each other on a date.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Jade, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
This has been fun, and hopefully we'll do it again.
Yeah, 100%.
Boom. Thank you.
Thank you.